going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yes, a couple of guys that recently signed with Duke, especially a 5-star small forward coming not this fall, but in 2023's fall. Mackenzie Mgbako, never heard his last name said, but this obviously looks like a pretty talented guy if he's already a 5-star. Next year, going into his senior year, so it looks pretty good for John Shire's future, as I always mention. And then I don't remember, because I looked back at a couple videos, because I kept hearing, like, during these like all-star games of high school kids playing, that there was this other guy that committed to Duke, but I didn't see any of the videos of his name on there marked, so I'm gonna mention it real quick in case I didn't. So coming actually this fall in 2022, another small forward, Mark Mitchell. He's another 5-star guy who committed to Duke as well. So once again, a lot of great positivity for the Duke program right now. Hopefully it can continue for them in the future. Then the Chargers made a little move at linebacker. They signed Troy Reeder, who was most recently with the champion Rams, so he doesn't have to make that far of a move. And plus, he was also coached by Brandon Staley, most likely when the head coach was there last season as a D coordinator. So he knows him pretty well. So hopefully he can be a plug-and-play type of guy, but we'll see. Then Isaiah Mobley of USC. Spent 3 years there. His younger brother, left for the NBA last season, and now he's officially getting an agent and declaring for the NBA draft. So good luck to him. I haven't really seen his name pop up in the first round. He definitely looks like a second round type of guy. He could, throughout this combine stuff, push himself up late first. Never know, but I think he's most likely going to be a role player coming off the bench in his future. Then when it comes to the future of USC football, they did make another big get in getting a 4-star linebacker from Long Beach Poly, so another SoCal guy. But he's actually going to be coming in 2024, so I think he's just graduating or just finishing his sophomore year, going into his junior. His name is Dylan Williams, so nice to be able to get a guy in the future. I think he might be the first guy in 2024. I could be wrong, because I think they might have another receiver / athlete coming from that school who already committed to Duke as well. So yeah, either way, it's looking good for the future for USC football. Then when it comes to Mac McClung, he was one of my favorite college players, and I was so happy and ecstatic that he got onto the Lakers squad, but sadly he's just been in the G League. But of course he tore that crap up, averaged like 21 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And then because of that, doing that throughout this whole year in the G League, he was named the MVP or the Player of the Year in the G League, which is pretty cool. Or was it the Rookie of the Year? It was one of those, probably Rookie of the Year. But then also right before the final game against Denver, he did officially sign a 2-way contract. So he's going to obviously be on the team the next couple years, which is pretty cool. Maybe he will get some more playing time later in his Lakers future, but I know he did play a little bit in that game. We just saw a nice dunk as well, so yes, congrats to my dude. Then Dariq Whitehead, who's an incoming freshman for Duke, another talented guy. Seems to be one of the better players. He was the MVP of that McDonald's All-American game, mentioned a few videos back, but apparently he has signed an NIL deal with Excel Sports Management. Don't know exactly who they are, but it's a company willing to put their money into him, so he's making a little bit of cash off his name, which isn't bad at all. So congrats to him. Hopefully he's still coming to Duke, you never know. And then 2 pretty talented offensive linemen from Georgia have just entered the transfer portal, which could end up solving USC's offensive line issues, especially one of these guys, Amarius Mims. Yes, he was considered one of the top guys. I think he's like 6'7", so he's definitely playing one of the tackle spots. But, hopefully Lincoln Riley could do some magic and lure him out of the SEC. Never know. But another guy who was apparently pretty talented that entered his name as well into the portal from Georgia was Clay Webb. I believe he plays center. USC to me does not have the greatest center. They have a 5 or 6 year guy. I don't know how long he's been there, Nielsen, but I mean, he could be an upgrade, whether there or kicking Nielsen to the guard or having Webb play the guard position as well. So to get either one of these guys, I think it could be beneficial for USC's offensive line going into this season coming up in the fall. Then a couple of guys I usually don't say or promote where guys who are transferring away from my teams are going, but it was kind of surprising that within like a 15-hour span, both Ethan Anderson and Max Agbankpolo both are transferring to Wyoming, the same school. Pretty interesting, and I think even like a UCLA player is transferring out there as well. So I don't know what head coach or what they're being promised, or maybe they just think if you put some talent together on a a little bit smaller school, you could make a run in the tournament, get noticed a little bit more. So that's cool for them. See what they can do next season. Then, yes, getting to those pesky Lakers. So past 2 games, their final home game against OKC, they were able to get that victory, which I guess was nice. I don't know, I still haven't, as of the second, watched highlights or wasn't even watching those games live at the time. But I guess that's good to end on somewhat of a positive note at home. And they also went on the road to face Denver, who already knew their spot in the playoffs, so they didn't really play any of their good players. And of course it took overtime, but the Lakers did end up getting that victory, playing a lot of young guys, a lot of G League guys, a lot of bench guys who haven't been playing at all this year, but they were able to get the victory. Even their rookie that's been playing for them a lot this year, Austin Reeves, went off. I think he had 31 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. As of I know, this is his first triple-double, which is pretty cool for him. Obviously, have to be able to put up those numbers if you're starting for the Lakers and, you're a rookie too, and you're playing against a crappy team in Denver, at least the team that they put out there. So it wasn't too surprising, but it's good to see that he at least showed out for that. But apparently it didn't matter, according to head coach Frank Vogel, as far as his coaching status, because they informed him. I think a reporter asked him last night if he knew about his releasing or is about to be fired or something like that the next day, the following day. He's like, they haven't told me shizzle. So I don't know what type of deal that is, but I think literally right before the game ended, Adrian Wojnarowski for ESPN, who pretty much breaks all the basketball news out there, pretty much said that the Lakers weren't going to bring Frank Vogel back and pretty much are going to fire him because he still had 1 more year left on that deal. It sucks because he's being used as a scapegoat, because it's like, how can he coach with this crappy of a team that they assembled together, whether it's LeBron or the front office or even the Rambises. Kurt Rambis and his wife apparently are in the front office and been doing a lot of stuff, telling them who to coach, who to play and who not to play and all this other stuff. So it's been pretty insane. So I don't know who would be attracted to this job if all that is entailed with it. But I know the Lakers are supposedly going to pursue Nick Nurse, who is the head coach right now of Toronto. He did win a championship with Toronto a few years back. I think he was an assistant to Greg Popovich. Not 100% sure, but he is a pretty good coach. I mean, he even has this Toronto team who suffered a lot of injuries and stuff, even though they are pretty talented, into the playoffs in the East once again. So maybe they could lure him away. I know there were some rumblings of Quinn Snyder that I mentioned a few videos back as well. I know there's a question, maybe Ty Lue once again from the Clippers, but he still wins and gives his team at least an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and he doesn't have their 2 best players the whole entire year. So it's pretty crazy. Even another guy they mentioned who's even on the hot seat himself in Philadelphia is Doc Rivers. And I don't know, Doc Rivers has been one of the coaches that consistently has been getting jobs and gotten a lot of great talent on his teams, and only 1 championship to show for it, even though the Lakers were really man down in that series in 2008 and almost won anyways. But overall, I just don't think this guy he's been given too many opportunities, and I don't think given once again another big opportunity like coaching LeBron and AD, if he is there again, would be good enough for the Lakers. So I don't know. I don't really like that either, but I guess those are some of the main guys they could go after. They might go after like a Juwan Howard, who's a coach at Michigan, who, you know, was an assistant coach with Miami when LeBron was there, and an ex-player too. But I don't know. He even had his own controversy with shoving a coach or whatever during a game this season while at Michigan. So I don't know. I don't like it. So we'll see how this goes. A lot of drama for the Lakers off season. So yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. You know what? Forgot to put on here that I think there are a couple teams that are interested in Russell Westbrook, including a deal kind of involving both teams, whether it's Indiana Pacers or the Charlotte Hornets. I know the Hornets would kind of be wanting to just be able to use him, so they probably won't give up as much, but I think Indiana might be wanting to get Westbrook so they can get that whatever contracts they give up, like maybe a Malcolm Brogdon, you know, a player like that. It was pretty good, not too bad, but placing a guard with a guard, we need wing players who Charlotte has and might be willing to give up, but Gordon Hayward is probably who they would give up numbers wise for a contract, and I just don't think that would work out because he always seems to get injured as well or miss time. So we'll see. Should be very interesting, like I said, this summer for the Lakers. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.